C# instructor for today's class. So today's class we're going to discussing something very important, which is a list. So what is a list? In our previous class, I explained what an array is. So today's class, I'll be telling you what a list is and the difference between an array and a list, and when to use an array in your project or when to use a list in your project. So let's start. What is a list? Let me start with an example. Just imagine that you're a teacher and in your class, you have about 3 students in your class. We have like John, Mary, David. Everything is going fine. School have started. Lessons are going on. Assignments are going on. So 2 students, maybe tomorrow, let's say 2 or 5 students, now join your class. So what are you going to do in that situation? Are you going to allow them in? Are you going to tell them, wait until the next term or to the next year before we can allow you into this class, because we already started. So we cannot put you into this class for now because we have started and we have gone far. So in a list, yes, it's possible. You allow those students to come into that class. But in an array, it's not possible. You can't allow those students to come into that class because you're already at the beginning. Those students you have started with, that is what you're going to end with. As if you are working with an array, it's a fixed length. At declaration, that length or that high number of items that are going to put in that basket, that is what you continue until the end. So in a class, if you're a teacher and you have 5 students and you have started with them, teaching with them, if any student comes in and wants to add to that class, is not allowed in an array, and you cannot remove the student, or you cannot remove any of the 5 students you have in that class from that class. It's not possible in an array. But in a list, yes, even though you have started with them, started teaching them, started giving them assignments for those 5 students inside that class, definitely in a list you can still add more students. You can still remove more students. Am I making sense here? I'm trying to just give you the difference between an array and a class. An array and a list. Very simple. I just use a class. You're a teacher and you have number of students in that class. Are you going to allow the next 5 students that just come in to join your class, or you're going to tell them, no, wait to the next section? But a list, yes, it's possible. But for array, no, it's not possible. So let's get to the code. How to declare a list, or how to write a list in your code. So let's start. Let's say lists. What kind of list or what kind of data type you want to pass in a list? Is it a string? Is it a int? Is it a boolean? So we're going to pass the string. Yes. What is the name of the container, or the name of the class, or the name of the box, or the name of the basket? What is the name of the basket you're going to put inside? The name of the basket. Let's name of the basket as, let's say, student. Let me just say I'm working in a class. So the name of my class is student. And what I'm going to put inside that class, the data type is what? Is a string. So what I'm going to do, you're going to say equals to, at first you're going to create a new list. So this new list means that new list string, this bracket, close, open and close bracket, means that you are creating a new list that is empty for now. You have not added anything to it. So this line 2 signifies that you have created a list. The name of the list is a student. Data type is a string, but it's an empty word, a list. That was line 2 signify. So now if you want to add more, if you want to add a student to this class, you can say student dot add. So there is a method called add. You can say John and you close your brackets. So it is supposed to be without an X here, student. This is not small letter. Sorry, it's a mistake. So okay, so this is a method. So this student.add is a method. Student.add is a method. What am I adding? I'm adding the name of a student. This is a John, and John is a string. If I want to add more students, I can come here and do the same thing. Jane can come here and do the same thing. Do. So now I've added 3 more students to this empty list. So now if I want to print this list now, I can come here and say CW or console.WriteLine. Before you say console.WriteLine, let's look through those lists. Remember I taught you about what for each is. So we're going to look through those lists and print out the name of those students in that class. We're going to do it for each. So let's do it for each. So we have for each a string, that is the name of the data type string. The name in words, student. So this is a name in what class? In the student class. So what we have in the student class, if you check line 9, console.WriteLine, we're printing what? Name. So name is just like a storage. Actually, a storage where we are storing the student's name. So after looping through these names in a student, we're going to put it inside a container or a storage called name. I'm going to print out that particular container, which is the name. So let's run our application and see what is going to print out for us. We're going to print out John, Jane, and Doe, and so on. So you can see John, Jane, and Doe. So now, if in a situation, maybe you have started with the student, 5 students, or these 3 students we have here, and you want to remove one of the students, maybe one of the students is not doing well in your class, and you want to remove it, and you say, I'm tired of this student, I don't think I can continue with this particular student. So you can use a method called student.remove. So student.remove, we're going to remove the student from that particular class. So let's put it in a code and let's see what we're going to do. So 1 second. So we have students dot another method removing Jane. So we're removing Jane from this class. Click on here, copy this one, and run this one. Let's see what. So you can see we have John and Doe because I've already removed this student Jane from this particular class because it's no longer doing well for me. So I'm going to remove them. So if I want to say add more students, you can come here and click student dot add Smith. I'll come here and say student dot add Emily. So now you're adding 2 more students in a list. So if I print this thing now, so the result I'm going to get out is John, Doe, Smith, and Emily because I've removed Jane from the class and I've added what? Emily and Smith. So this is very, 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 very easy to understand and very easy to implement. So now I believe you must have understand how to apply a list. And now let me give you the difference between a list and an array. So for an array is a fixed size, but for lists is a flexible size. Means you can add, you can remove. But for array is a fixed size. Whatever size you have decided from the beginning, that's the size they're going to end. They're going to end with. Then for array is faster. For lists is easier to use. Then an array is harder to change, but for lists it's easy to add or to remove. If you are dealing with a fixed data, you can go for an array. But if you are dealing with changing data, you can go with a list. Please take again. If your project is talking about a fixed data, you have a data that is fixed that you don't want to change, you can go with an array. But if your data is like you are changing data maybe every 2 weeks or maybe every week or every day, please go with a list. Very important. This is very important for you to understand. So this is how you can apply a list, and this is the difference. This is the difference between a list and what? An array. So guys, I believe you must have understand this differences between a list and array and how to use them and how to apply them, and in your projects you know how to apply them If you are dealing with a fixed data, you go with an array. But if you are dealing with a flexible data, a chain data, you go with a list. So thank you so much for paying attention to this class. Thank you so much for staying to this end. The next episode or the next class will be shared on the YouTube platform. Please make sure you subscribe to NonnyPlus and make sure you follow through all the videos starting from the beginning and the end so that you do not miss anyone. See you in the next one. Bye guys.